Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Kingdom of Light. Top 10 potential list for opening inventory, not a day. The entire Ultraman world began to shake. A huge virtual screen appears in the sky of all worlds. At the beginning, what appeared on the screen was the top 10 potential rankings. Cerro. I do know why Leo beat me to death when I was hit by a jeep. Belia. What, will I be filial to my own son in the future? Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Dark Foundation. What asterisk top 10 potential rankings, in my hands are all asterisk asterisk. Gauss. What? I actually made it to the list, why is it nicknamed Advanced Fusion Material? Tartaros. What? Gauss can also merge into Saiga. Everyone move out and quickly destroy him. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1 appears, Top 10 Potential Rankings. You are listening at novelfull.audio. day.The World. On board the Addis. Daegu and Lina are standing face to face. They finally defeated their strongest enemy, the evil god Gitangel. Daegu opened the zipper of his clothes, took out the divine light stick from his pocket, and placed it in Lina's palm. At this point, the divine light stick has petrified. Lina just took the next second of the divine light stick. The light stick immediately turns into countless dust and dissipates. Daegu, can't you become a day.The Ultraman anymore? Lina looked into Daegu's eyes and spoke softly. Everyone can turn into light by their own power. Daegu is also responding gently. After transforming into the shining day.The, Daegu only discovered that the most powerful light actually exists in everyone's heart. As long as the light in one's heart is strong enough, everyone can be a day.The. Originally, according to the original plot. After the two of them finished talking, the members of the victorious team should take a group photo. However, just as they were preparing to take a group photo, a huge virtual screen suddenly unfolded in the sky. Looking at this huge screen, everyone immediately began to become wary. What's going on? Is it difficult for other extraterrestrial beings to invade at this time? The new city looked at the screen in the sky with anger in its heart. The victorious team now has no combat power at all. It doesn't look very similar. If it were really a cosmic invasion, the attack would have already been launched by this time. As the captain, intermediary Hui has always been relatively calm, so she is not in a hurry to make a judgment. It doesn't seem like something that other cosmic beings can do. Daegu frowned slightly, feeling a strange force emanating from the screen. And at this moment, a few big characters suddenly appeared on the screen. Inventory of the top 10 potential rankings of Ultra World. These big characters bring too much information. Ultra World. Potential list. 10th place. In an instant, Daegu's face changed. Now he has penetrated the dungeon of this world. So I have already met other Ultras. One is the evil day.The. And the other one is the first generation from the Kingdom of Light. After meeting the first generation, Daegu also understands that there are Ultra Warriors in other worlds. Is it possible that this screen holds the power of other world Ultra Warriors? At the same time, within the Lului ruins, the Dark Trio still under seal. Camilla, Dalam, Hydra, they can also see this screen, their faces full of horror. Trago World. Jianwu, Kalmyra, Hitram, Dagon, Ignis, upon seeing this huge screen, were also shocked. Zeta World. Yao Hui, Yang Zi, Jiehua, Gagula, Cereblo, upon seeing this scene, they also had the same expression. The Land of Light. Otto's father, Tyro, and many Otto brothers were all attracted by the visions in the sky. What exactly is the sudden appearance of this virtual screen? Father of Otto, but filled with curiosity. Even if he uses true power, he cannot see through the source of this virtual screen. I don't know, it should be constructed by a mysterious force. And this force is far beyond our imagination. As Hikari spoke, he pulled out his research screen. The Zoto warriors can see that on the research screen, the results displayed for this virtual screen are all garbled. It's like there's a mysterious force blocking all of this. But this list of the top 10 potential is a bit interesting. Cerro held his hands and smiled slightly. Now he has defeated Belia and has also been on a mission in the Kingdom of Light for a period of time. I have returned to the embrace of the Kingdom of Light. But after returning, Tyro felt a bit lonely now. Because he couldn't find any opponents to fight against. It's not that the Otto brothers are not as strong as him. But rather numerous Ultra brothers, all of whom were elders to him. If you're fighting against your elders, it's definitely not possible to make a desperate move. What Cerro wants is an opponent who can fight with all his might. If what is said on this top 10 potential list is true. So Cerro can take this opportunity to search for those Ultraman warriors in other time and space for battle. Enjoy the addiction of battle. Looking at Cerro full of fighting spirit. Severn, who became a father, also shook his head helplessly. Since it's the Ultra world, does it refer to all worlds where Ultra warriors exist? So, can we even know about other multiverse situations? Eddie raised a question at this moment. If that's really the case, then it means that this mysterious force is constantly observing the condition of all multiverses. If you think about it this way, it's a bit too scary. Zophie took a deep breath. Even the strongest of the Kingdom of Light, the father of Ultraman. Being able to observe the end of the universe in the blink of an eye. It's already very impressive. And this mysterious power. But one can observe the state of the entire multiverse. I don't know how much higher the level has gone. Is this mysterious force an enemy or a friend? They all cannot make judgments. On a desolate planet in another universe. Belia also saw this virtual screen. The top 10 potential rankings are really interesting. I don't know if that guy will be on the list. And the person he is talking about is naturally Cerro. I have to admit it. Cerro is so young that he already possesses the power to rival himself. It is rare in the history of the entire Kingdom of Light. If it weren't for him, Belia had already truly annihilated the Kingdom of Light. And conquer that universe. Now I am transferring from the monster graveyard to another universe. Even with a scar on his face. Everything needs to be started from scratch. All of this is bestowed by Bessel. It's okay, I'll soon be able to rebuild a powerful empire. Then, wait for the Ultra Warriors of the Kingdom of Light. Belia began to laugh wildly. And at this moment, on the virtual screen, subtitles slowly disappear. Replaced by other words. Author. Multiverse Observer. This video only represents personal opinions and is ranked based on a large amount of information. If there is any objection, then there is no way. Immediately after, a picture appeared on the screen. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2, 10th place, Leo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the virtual screen, the image begins to appear. Just as everyone was still expressing doubts. 10th place, he finally appeared. Top 10 potential rankings. L77 star Leo Ultraman. The next second, a crimson body appeared on the screens of various universes. The figure of Leona, who remained calm and self-righteous, intimidated people in various universes. The screen is also playing information about Leo, as well as some of his battle scenes. In the Kingdom of Light. All the Ultras were stunned on the spot. Especially when Cerro looked at the figure on the screen, his eyes were full of shock. I didn't expect him to be the first one on the list. In the entire Kingdom of Light. Except for Astra and Severn. The one who knows Leo the most is Cerro. After all, we trained together for such a long time. I was beaten by him every day. It seems normal for Leo to make it to the top 10 potential rankings. Saiwan hugged his hands and pondered carefully. After all, the king of fighting in the Kingdom of Light is not for fun. From a rookie who knew nothing at the beginning to a warrior who stood alone. There has indeed been a great change. If there is no potential, I really can't do this kind of thing. On K76 star. Leo couldn't help but express surprise when he saw that he was in 10th place. For a moment or two, I didn't know what to say. Leo himself never thought about how strong his potential would be. Every training is just to become stronger. Even if you can only become stronger a little, it is still breaking through your limits. As long as you can ensure that you become stronger bit by bit, that's enough. Only by gaining sufficient strength can one protect the person they want to protect. But now Leo is curious. What is the basis for ranking this list? I am only in 10th place. Who will be the next 9 people? Dig a world. Is Leo Ultraman? You really look like a handsome Ultraman. Xinqing looked at the figure of Leo displayed on the screen and couldn't help but sigh. Yeah, don't be angry and self-righteous. It's really like a burning red lion, and this constellation happens to come from Leo. Hori excitedly spoke. Compared to day.The, it's just 2 different feelings of ultra warriors. Zhongfang spoke up. I'm afraid I already know that day.The was transformed from a great ancient. But purely based on appearance. day.The displays more of a divinity. When humans encounter disasters that they cannot handle, day.The will descend from the sky, using his powerful power to sweep away all obstacles. Compared to day.The, Leo is more like a human. Having one's own 7 emotions and 6 desires. Yeah, I can see a slight sadness in Leo's eyes. Lena, as a girl, has always had a delicate mind. I think so too. Intermediary Hui nodded slightly. Originally, it was an Ultraman who had experienced many hardships. Zeta World. The first one on the list is Master Leo. Master Leo is really tough. The first person to see on the list is Leo. Zeta is excited. And hear Zeta's voice. Yao Hui asked softly. Is Leo Ultraman very powerful? It must be very impressive. Zeta became even more excited when he introduced Leo. Because Master is the fighting king in the Kingdom of Light, with extremely strong physical strength. Most Ultra Warriors use light to defeat monsters. Master Leo is completely different. You can eliminate monsters with your fists and feet. Just the physical body can unleash power comparable to light. Listen to Zeta's words. Yao Hui probably had a perception of Leo's strength in his heart. You can defeat monsters with your fists, that's really impressive. Among the 3 forms of Zeta, only Beta Impact can achieve this. But that was also with the help of the power of the other 3 Ultras. If it were just Zeta alone, that must not be possible. At this point in the video, the first battle of Leo has already started playing. In the video, the originally clear sky was sealed by dark clouds. The azure seawater has now turned pitch black, with turbulent waves engulfing the surrounding small islands. And it's also on this black sea surface. 3 huge figures are in battle. Is it Leo Ultraman who fights monsters? No, that's Severn. In the Kingdom of Light. Some Ultra Warriors are discussing. And seeing this battle playing on the screen. Saiwan only felt a faint pain in his leg. This battle was too profound for him to forget in his lifetime. Is it actually Dad who appeared first? A hint of surprise flashed in Cerro's eyes. He hasn't seen what the previous Battle of Sevens looked like yet. I didn't expect to see this video instead. In the video, Severin was alone in dealing with the twin monsters, Red Jure and Black Jure. These two monsters are carefully cultivated biological weapons by the Magma people. Even if it's a split attack, the combat power of individual units is very strong. Not to mention it's a 2-on-1 competition. Even though Sean is already an old warrior who has experienced numerous battles facing these two monsters, for a moment, it also fell into a disadvantage. What's even more unfortunate is that their battlefield is on the sea. Don't be fooled by the bulky figures of red Gilas and black Gilas. But once it infiltrates the seabed, it becomes exceptionally agile. A monster is responsible for attracting Severin's attention. Another monster is responsible for sneaking into the seabed and conducting a surprise attack. Pull Saiwan to the bottom of the sea for battle. Who can bear this? Many people from around the world have already felt a strong sense of oppression when they see this battle. Gaia World. This scene is too difficult to play, isn't it? I dream of Roast. At this moment, he has gained Gaia's power and has also defeated several monsters. But as an Ultraman, he would have a more immersive experience watching this video. Because after transformation, the energy consumption will double. Don't be fooled, you can only fight for 3 minutes. It's only these 3 minutes until the time. I can feel my body being emptied in my dreams. In the case of being hollowed out, we also have to deal with these two difficult monsters. This kind of scene is too suffocating. So I'm also curious in my dreams. How did Saiwan successfully overcome this difficulty? Is it difficult to save by relying on Leo's appearance? It is indeed possible. After all, the protagonist of this video is Leo. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. Leo at this time, still a rookie. You are listening at novelfull.audio. And the next scene is to make people in many universes even more surprised. Because in the screen, red Gilas and black Gilas actually hugged each other. After two monsters hugged each other, they burst out with astonishing energy. The energy gradually condensed into a huge tornado that surged into the sky. The entire sea surface also surged even more fiercely. The waves beat higher and higher, even reaching heights of several tens of meters. The tornado enveloped the bodies of two monsters. Saiwan saw this scene. I didn't know how to start for a moment. Just when Saiwan was still hesitating, suddenly, several light darts were fired from the tornado. These cursors all hit Severin at an extremely fast speed. Under the influence of strong impact, Saiwan flew backwards and landed on the sea, riding a lot of waves. Dig a world. Oh my goodness, not only are the two monsters strong in their own abilities, but they also have this kind of combination skill. Upon seeing this scene, Yi Rui was also moved. If there had been a combination technique between Gorzon and Melba back then, it would have been better. Just transformed into a Diga, Daegu can't handle it at all. Thanks to the two monsters, they hit themselves. And Dijia also possesses the ability to change forms, making it easy to deal with them. And the one on the screen, Sean Ultraman, is not that easy. Zeta World. Snake Tsung looked at the battle on the screen and also frowned slightly. According to Saiwan's combat effectiveness, actually, these two monsters can be defeated. Unfortunately, this is a cloudy day. The armor on Saiwan's body has failed. If there is sunlight, it can continuously replenish energy, use concentrated light, and deliver a powerful blow. The Saiwan on the screen, even if he threw the ice axe on his head, was bounced away by the wind on the surface of those two monsters. After repeatedly knocking down Saiwan, two monsters forced Severin to a nearby island. At the same time, thunder and lightning burst out in the sky. Amidst the pale lightning, a black figure gradually appeared. This figure is exactly the Magma Star Man, the owners of these two monsters. Looking at Severn being held hostage by two monsters, the Magma people showed a successful smile. As far as he knows, the current combat power on Earth is only Psi-1. As long as the Psi-1 is resolved, so he can easily occupy this planet. Ding! A cold light flashed by. The Magma Man summoned a sharp thin sword on his arm. Then gradually approached Seven. Seeing the situation becoming increasingly critical, Psi-1 concentrated his strength in his arms, using all his strength to break free from the constraints of the two monsters and distance himself from them. However, the upcoming battles will be even more difficult to fight. It was already very difficult to deal with two monsters. Now we have added another Magma Astrian. 3 people sandwiched to attack Psi-1. It's basically difficult for Psi-1 to have the strength to fight back. Red Jiray flicked his tail and tripped over Severn to the ground. Upon seeing this, Black Helas quickly pounced and grabbed Severn's leg with both hands. Grala. A crisp sound echoed from the screen. Listen to this sound. All the viewers couldn't help but tremble all over. It's obvious that this is the sound of bones breaking. The Kingdom of Light. Dad's leg has been broken. Cerro saw this scene. I couldn't help but tremble all over. He had heard of Leo's words about this matter before. But the conversation was just a mention, not providing a detailed description of the entire process. Cerro also doesn't know what the situation is. And now through video, he finally saw it. Use brute force to break the bone. How much pain does this have to bring to Sean? One person dealt with 3 enemies and broke another leg. If it were Sailor encountering this situation, there's basically no need to fight either. In this situation, only Leo can save the field and solve the crisis. Meanwhile, in the dark sky, a red fireball flew rapidly towards. At the moment when the Magma Astrians were about to strike a fatal blow against Saven, the red fireball turned into a red giant and quickly kicked down from a height of several thousand meters, knocking down the Magma Sun. This red giant. Naturally, it's Leo Ultraman. However, compared to the initial stream of the video, the difference between Leo at this time is still quite significant. There was no such determination in his eyes. He still looks like a very immature warrior. If metaphorically, it is a red lion cub that has not yet fully grown up. Leo quickly began to fight against the Magma Astrians. Just during the battle, a few lines of text appeared on the screen. At this time, Leo had not undergone any training and was still a very immature warrior. Whether it was fighting or light skills, he was a blank slate, and even had less energy in his body than ordinary Ultra Warriors. A typical Ultraman can move on Earth for 3 minutes, while Leo can only move for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. See these few lines of text. Many people showed signs of surprise. Reno, known as the King of Fighters, was so weak back then. Can only move for 2 minutes and 40 seconds, not even a typical Ultraman in the Kingdom of Light. How did he grow into a fighting king in this situation? Many cosmologists who understand Leo have a puzzled expression on their faces. In their impression, Leo is strong from start to finish. Because when many cosmic beings meet Leo, it is already a very late Leo. The Kingdom of Light. Did Leo actually be so weak back then? A hint of surprise flashed in Cerro's eyes. When training on K-76 Star, he really didn't feel any weakness in Leo. The fist contains explosive power. At first, Cerro thought Leo was a natural divine power. I didn't expect Leo's starting point to be so low. This also made Cerro curious. What battles did Leo experience on Earth and how he grew to such a powerful level? And in the video, even though the narrator had already said it, at that time Leo was just a fighting rookie. In this case, Leo continued to suppress the magma star man alone, leaving the opponent with no fighting power. Seeing Leo so fierce, the magma star man whistled and called for the help of the twin monsters. And how could Saiwan possibly give the twin monsters this opportunity? He forcefully dragged two twin monsters with his severely injured body. By time for the battle between Leo and the Magma-Astrians. After several rounds of fighting, those watching the video also discovered an issue. That's because Leo doesn't seem to have any killing moves. There is no such ultimate skill that can determine the outcome with just one strike. So we can only suppress and beat the Magma Star Man, but we cannot defeat him. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Moral Kidnapping, PUA of the Kingdom of Light. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The magma people see that they really can't beat Leo. He could only run away quickly, waving his sharp sword, and a large amount of thick fog grew under his feet. Using these characters to conceal Leo's gaze and escape. And while running away, I also added a knife to Severn. Directly put Saiwan in a dying state. Saiwan collapsed weakly on the nearby island, without the strength to stand up. After the successful surprise attack, the figure of the Magma Star Man completely dissipated. The two monsters, Red Jiray and Black Jiray, sank into the sea and lost their figures. Saiwan collapsed on a nearby island, using his last bit of strength. Transformed back into the appearance of the star clusters. Leo flew high into the sky, spinning rapidly. During the rotation, it also changed back to the appearance of Feng Yuan. Running towards the star clusters. Mr. Zhuxing, are you okay? You must hold on. Feng Yuan helped up the various star clusters, bandaged their wounds, and even found him a cane. The two stood on a reef by the seaside. The star clusters stared at the young man in front of them and asked. How do you know I'm a star cluster? Why did you come to save me? Feng Yuan explained. I also know that you are Sean Ultraman. The captain of the Earth Space Patrol, Mike's team. I have such a good understanding of my own situation. The star clusters frowned slightly and said, Who the hell are you? I am Leo Ott. My hometown is located on that Leo constellation. A month ago, there was a planet called L77 in the constellation of Leo, which, like Earth, has beautiful nature. Unexpectedly, the ferocious magma humans and twin monsters together destroyed the L77 planet. My parents and brothers all died, and after that, I made up my mind to live on Earth, which is very close to my hometown. The Earth is my second hometown, and I have always lived peacefully here. After listening to Leo's description, many people in the universe have expressed doubts. Did the magma humans and twin monsters just destroy an entire planet like this? Is this too exaggerated? Combining with the performance just now, the strength of twin monsters is very strong. But the strength of the magma star people is very impressive. Can be hit hard by Leo without any training experience. Narrating on the screen naturally gave a reason. The original invaders of L77 were the army of magma people, and countless magma people invaded L77. L77 only had 4 Ultraman warriors, making it too difficult to deal with the entire army. Although the strength of the magma people is weak, they possessed the special ability to ignite planet magma, which completely destroyed the L77 star after reading the narration's explanation. The people watching the video finally understand. Dig a world. The ability to directly detonate a planet's magma is too outrageous. It's similar to detonating a planet's core. Horii's eyes were filled with surprise. At the same time, I also marvel at the wonder of this universe. The magma that can ignite the Earth is likely to take away one's own life. It is probably a skill that will be used together until the last moment, and the magma people will definitely not use it. Yi Rui analyzed. The fact is indeed so. If we really want to detonate magma. When we couldn't beat Leo just now. The magma people have long directly bombed the entire planet. But he didn't do that. It means that this skill will never be used until necessary. The video is still ongoing. Feng Yuan, you must use your hands to protect the Earth you love. The various star clusters spoke with a deep expression on their faces. Using my hands to protect the Earth I love. Feng Yuan's face was full of questions. You should also join the Space Guard. The various star clusters speak. But doesn't the Earth Guard already have you? Due to the destruction of my hometown. At this moment, Leo actually cast a shadow over the battle to some extent. This transformation was inevitable. He just wants to live as an ordinary person. And there is already Severin Ultraman on this planet. He doesn't need to fight anymore. I need you, and you also need me. The star clusters let out a deep sigh. But isn't there already Sean Ultraman? Hear this sentence. The various star clusters suddenly turned their heads to look at Feng Yuan. Saiwan no longer exists. You keep an eye on it. After the star cluster finished speaking, they took out their auto glasses. This is the prop he used to restore himself to being Saiwan. The various star clusters used their psychic powers and planned to forcibly transform. Buzzing wonderful waves emanated from Ott's glasses. Bang! Suddenly, Ott's glasses exploded, with one corner completely charred by flames. This also represents. At this moment, Saiwan really can't change. Even after that, it may not be possible to transform. The hope for the entire planet now lies with Feng Yuan. The various star clusters grabbed Feng Yuan's collar. You will join, I'm sure you will. This operation also makes many viewers exclaim about sleeping slots. Isn't this a moral kidnapping? Force Leo to become a strong soldier. I saw 10,000 unwillingness on Feng Yuan's face. The Kingdom of Light. Dad, I didn't expect you to be this kind of person. Cerro gave Severin a deep glance. Even Feilu could see how aggrieved Feng Yuan's face was. With that kind of forced agreement. Forcefully boarded the pirate ship of the various star clusters. Isn't the situation too critical at the time? I can only put all my hopes on Leo. Saiwan gave an awkward smile. After these tens of thousands of years. Looking back on the past. Saiwan also felt that he had done a bit harshly in the beginning. But there's no other way. Who let the Earth during that period be watched by many cosmologists? He cannot transform himself. We can only think of various ways. Raised Leo to a level equivalent to his own strength. Can Feng Yuan agreed to his request? The star clusters raised their crutches and pointed to the horizon. If that sinking sunset were mine. So tomorrow's sunrise is you, Leo Ultraman. Seeing the other person's attitude is really sincere. Feng Yuan had no choice but to agree. So please let me join. Two people shake hands. And at the moment of shaking hands, the various star clusters exerted force on their arms and threw Feng Yuan out. After rolling and flipping on the ground several times, Feng Yuan finally unloaded his power. What are you doing? Feng Yuan's face was full of confusion. The various star clusters held the shirt they had just torn off in their hands and smiled slightly. Never let your guard down at any time. Do you understand? After speaking, throw the shirt back to Feng Yuan. Yes. Feng Yuan nodded heavily. The narration reappeared. From then on, two cosmic beings fought together to protect the Earth. Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Devil training is about to begin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Two cosmic beings protecting the Earth and working together, this sentence sounds strange. Gaia world. I dream of holding my hands and frowning slightly. Shouldn't the Earth be guarded by the Earthlings themselves? How can we rely on people from other planets to protect us? It's very normal for me to dream like this. After all, the situation of each worldview is different. Like the world of the Kingdom of Light. The Earth is facing various invading extraterrestrial beings. It's really difficult to have the power to resist. In advanced weapons. At most, it's just causing some damage to the monster. It is impossible to defeat it. Except for the divine power of Ultraman, there is really no way to fight. Until the worldview of Menbius. The technology level of the defense team has only reached its peak. Where is the world like Gaia? The Earth is protecting itself well. Another monster pinching the Earth. It's pinching two Ultraman warriors again. Even pinched numerous alchemy stars. That is to say, the smartest person on Earth. These have formed the backbone of the Earth, and whoever comes will have to worry. Especially when the power of the Earth and the power of the ocean are combined. The highest type that has been transformed possesses even more explosive power. So this planet can be defeated by humans themselves. There is no need for cosmic beings at all. The video continues to play backwards. The sky became gloomy again. The island was engulfed by huge waves. The streets are full of fleeing people. Look at this island. On K76 star. Leo slowly closed his eyes and took a deep breath. This island is exactly the Kuroshio Island. It is also a lifelong pain in Leo's heart. If my own strength had been even stronger back then. So everyone on Kuroshio Island won't die either. On Kuroshio Island, the battle is once again taking place. This time, Leo faced both red Gilas and black Gilas alone. The strength of twin monsters is much stronger than that of magma Astrians. Even elite warriors like Saiwan cannot fight, let alone Leo who has not yet undergone training. Facing these two monsters alone. It can be said that it was completely suppressed and beaten. There is no strength to fight back. It was just a few rounds of confrontation. Leo's energy indicator has already started flashing. Everyone saw this scene. I also feel despair naturally. I can't fight at all. And coincidentally, unfortunately. Just as the two monsters completely suppressed Leo. The magma people have reappeared. The situation has become even more critical. The audience also began to get nervous. If Leo's leg is also broken here. The only Ultraman who can fight is completely gone. This planet is no different from extinction. At this most critical moment. The star clusters stepped forward. I used my own trump card to save my life. That's Oti Nyenli. Under the influence of Otto's imagination. The scene in front of twin monsters and magma humans became blurred. The three stood in place, as if they had been pinned down. See this scene. The audience couldn't help but take a cold breath. Zeta World. Master Saiwan's training ability is also too strong. Zeta couldn't help but sigh. If we were to use Ultraman's psychic power to immobilize the monster in Ultraman's situation. Zeta still thinks it's normal. But if we were to immobilize the monster in the state of the human body. That's completely another matter. Directly crossed several levels. The concepts are very different. Is it true that Master Saiwan has honed his mental abilities to a level that ordinary Ultraman warriors cannot reach? Yao Hui also expressed emotion. Three massive objects measuring several tens of meters were directly anchored by the human body. This matter is too terrifying. Yao Hui also began to understand to some extent the terrifying power of the Ultra Brothers. In the video, I saw that the actions of the three opposing parties suddenly stopped. Leo naturally won't miss this opportunity. Instantly launched an attack on them. Leo concentrated his strength in his sword and used 2 moves to cut off the horns on the heads of Red Jiray and Black Jiray, respectively. This is to prevent them from using powerful attacks again. At this point, the star clusters have also reached their limits. The power of Otto's psychic power gradually weakened, and he collapsed weakly to the ground. Twin monsters and magma humans have also regained consciousness. The twin monsters roared in terror when they saw the horn on their head cut off. The magma people saw something was wrong and immediately ran away. The twin monsters also burst out with a large amount of thick fog. The body completely disappeared. Upon seeing the end of the battle, Leo also flew into the sky and transformed back into the appearance of Fengyuan. No one won this battle. Leo lost the most miserably. Because most of the residents on the island have already died in this disaster. Leo did not protect anyone. This also made people in the multiverse realize how weak Leo is at this moment. Ultraman is not omnipotent either. day.The world. If day.The had transformed into day.The in the beginning, he would also be a weak existence. I guess this planet will just disappear. After watching this battle of Leo, Horii opened his mouth wide. Yeah, thanks to the powerful power left in Dijia's body, otherwise it would really be unimaginable. day.The also agrees with Horii's words. Both are 1 to 2. And both Gorzon and Melba are more powerful than twin monsters. If it weren't for the powerful power left by day.The himself. Even if day.The turns into light, they will also be beaten down by these 2 monsters. At that time, I guess Gitangel hasn't come out yet. These 2 monsters have already destroyed the entire planet. Sure enough, the situation in every world is completely different. However, this also made day.The more curious. Such a weak Leo. What kind of training did you go through? Only then did he grow into the appearance at the beginning of the video. The image of a strong person who is not angry and self-intimidating, and can intimidate everything with just his breath. And the scene on the screen changes. We arrived at a forest. At this moment, Fengyuan is crazily training. He can cut off trees with just 1 punch and 1 kick. After all, it is normal to have such strong power as being directly transformed into a human body by an Ultraman warrior. The figures of the various star clusters appeared behind him, with a face full of coldness. To become an independent fighting king, one must go through many hardships on this path of growth. It is also impossible to do without the training of various star clusters. Although these trainings were extremely brutal, they became the foundation for Leo to become stronger. After these lines of narration appeared, the content of Fengyuan's training was played. And this content has surprised many people from around the world. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6 Rob Brothers. This kind of training is really. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fengyuan, this move is impossible to defeat the twin monsters. I'm not willing to accept it. The star clusters questioned Fengyuan. Of course not. Fengyuan's eyes were filled with tears. When the twin monsters attacked, his lover Baizi was seriously injured as a result. Unable to protect one's lover well. This can be said to be a very sad thing for you, Fengyuan. It's just a matter of time before aliens come again. Monsters' horns can regenerate like lizards' tails. I'm sure we'll use the Gila's rotation again. The only way to win is to counter rotation with rotation. As the star clusters spoke, they took out a top. He threw it hard onto the ground, and the top spun rapidly. Then the star clusters threw out their crutches. The cane spun rapidly in the sky. The direction of rotation is different from the direction of gyroscopic rotation. At the moment when both sides collide. Ding! I only heard a crisp sound. The gyroscope immediately split into 2 halves. If you want to defeat them, that's the only way. After saying this sentence, Feng Yuan immediately started training. He used a boom to spin rapidly in the sky. If you want to break the rotation with rotation, so Leo needs to adapt to extremely high speeds first. People can see the entire universe. Feng Yuan repeatedly fell to the ground while spinning. Then he quickly got up again. Start training again. Don't say it's Feng Yuan anymore. The audience saw him training like this. I'm starting to feel dizzy and dizzy. It seems that the people being trained are themselves. Is the initial training already so outrageous? What the audience usually thinks of as training. It's just regular physical training. For example, running on iron or something like that. Train like this. They have never heard of it before. Rob World. Does this training method really exist in the world? The two brothers of the family both widened their eyes filled with surprise. They're training together. At most, it's just some basic physical training. For example, push-ups or squats. For them, I am already very tired. However, Feng Yuan's training is countless times more difficult than theirs. Is it difficult to achieve the enlightenment that an Ultraman should have? Aaron building. This is the training that Ultra Warriors should do. Aaron Cheng saw Leo's training on the screen and also felt his blood boil. This is exactly the image that the Ultraman he has been chasing should have. After undergoing a period of training, Feng Yuan came to find the various star clusters to present the results. Feng Yuan's body was spinning rapidly in the sky, falling down while spinning. Step on a rock with your foot. The rock burst in an instant. Captain, I succeeded. Feng Yuan was panting heavily and laughing. The various star clusters snorted coldly and came to a half-meter high rock. You didn't break the rock just now, you just kicked off a piece of rock. Watch. The star clusters raised their crutches high and struck the rocks with a sudden slash. Boom boom boom. The rock was instantly cut in half. Even the cut surface is very smooth. Feng Yuan's eyes widened for an instant. What a terrifying force this is. Zeta world. Oh my, can there be such a powerful person in this world? Yoko from the arsenal was also shocked when he saw this scene. You can split rocks with just a cane. This is no longer something that humans can do. However, it is understandable that he is the incarnation of the Ultraman warrior. Such a powerful man. Just in line with Yoko's criteria for mate selection. If we were to wrestle with the star clusters, the star clusters will always win. I don't know if this Mr. Star Cluster is married or not. Yao Hui on the side smiled awkwardly when he heard these words. I didn't say anything. He had heard Zeta talk about Cerro before. Knowing that Cerro is Severn's son. Since everyone has a son, they must have gotten married. Senior Yoko, let's not think about it anymore. The video is still ongoing. I can do this with just a cane. Listen up, don't think about unnecessary things. Before successfully cutting, continue practicing no matter what happens. The star clusters have issued a death order. There's no way, the only combat power on Earth is Leo. Even if Leo is weak, I have to elevate him to the level of an elite warrior. It was also during Feng Yuan's training. The twin monster reappeared. Of course, the various star groups are trying to buy training time for Feng Yuan. Piloting fighter jets with other teammates for interception. Except for the star clusters, almost all other fighter planes were knocked down. Looking at people from various universes, it's a worry. Because they can completely see it. For monsters, the level of defense in this world is simply the existence of scraping. Fortunately, at the most critical moment, Feng Yuan finally completed the training and quickly transformed into Leo. Rushed to the location of the twin monster. This time, Leo. The combat skills have undergone significant changes. His legs contain explosive power. Even when facing twin monsters at the same time, they are no longer at a disadvantage. You can kick them with just one leg and fly them hundreds of meters away. Seeing Leo make such great progress, all the audience expressed surprise. Just going through this kind of training. Surprisingly, there has been such a significant change. It seems that there is indeed great potential in his body. Part of it was triggered by the training of various star clusters. Can this really defeat the twin monsters? Because the guy from Magma Star has not come out yet. Just as they thought. When Leo completely crushed the twin monsters, the magma people suddenly appeared from the sky and attacked Leo. Shift Leo's attention completely. Created opportunities for twin monsters to use combo skills. The largest tornado surged out in an instant. A large number of light darts erupted from the tornado. Leo dodged on the side, while luring them into the sea. If we continue to fight in the city, it will only cause greater casualties. And temptation takes a certain amount of time. Leo finally led them all into the seawater, and his energy indicator had already started to flash. The Magma Star Man struck Leo with a sword, and Leo's figure flew backwards and sank into the sea, losing its trace. What does Leo plan to do this time? Everyone's hearts are filled with doubts. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Leo's Hidden Skills, Fighting Against Life. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sea gradually returned to calm. More than 10 seconds have passed. Leo's figure still hasn't appeared. The magma people dared not relax their vigilance and stared at the sea. Did Leo just be defeated by himself like this? It doesn't look very likely either. Do you want to dive into the sea to observe the situation? If we really do this, will you fall into Leo's trap? Just when the magma people were still hesitating, Leo's figure suddenly emerged from under the sea. Fly straight to an altitude of several kilometers, rotate your body, and fall at an extremely fast speed. The red light covered Leo's legs, enhancing his strength. Bang bang. Under 2 consecutive feet. The head of the twin monster was kicked off directly. If they only kick off the corners, they will still undergo rebirth. But if you kick your head off, there is no chance of resurrection at all. The twin monsters were just defeated by Leo. The magma people naturally run away at lightning speed. The twin monsters have both lost, and if he continues to fight, he will definitely die. Leo turned back to Fengyuan and rushed to the hospital. Even if we defeat the monster, Baizi still shows no signs of awakening. This made Fengyuan very sad. He ran to the beach and angrily hammered the reef with his fists. Don't die, don't die. In extreme sadness, Fengyuan's body diffused wonderful power. This wonderful power gradually condensed into a lion in the sky. The lion opened its blood in the sky and roared. Golden lightning burst out from his mouth. The originally sunken Kuroshio Island under the power of lightning, it resurfaced from the seabed. And Baizi, who was on the brink of death, her life was also awakened. Rebirth from death. Dig a world. Among the Lulu Yi ruins. The dark trio saw the scene on the screen, their eyes full of shock. Is this really a skill that an Ultraman should possess? I originally saw Leo's immature combat skills. Their eyes were filled with ridicule. What kind of fighting king is this? It's too weak, isn't it? Even the training is the same. In their eyes, still a presence that can be easily defeated. However, it is the Leo they look down upon. But he used this resurrection skill. The power to change the laws of life. In the entire universe, no one is likely to be able to use this skill. The function of this skill is completely different from Ultraman's possession of the human body. It really pulled people back from the underworld. The Kingdom of Light. Leo, he actually knows how to use this skill. Cerro took a cold breath. In the previous training with Leo, what impressed him the most was Leo's fighting skills. I haven't seen Leo use the light skill. Not to mention this special skill. I didn't expect Leo to be able to use this resurrection power. A life solidification device for walking. At this moment, a few lines of text appeared on the screen. The roar of a lion. It can restore people or things, and it is extremely exhausting for the Phoenix Source. However, there is a limit to restoration, and even with all his efforts, he only managed to save the lives of Kuroshio Island and Shirako. Even if Kuroshio Island was restored, the thousands of residents on it would still not be able to return, which became a lifelong pain in Leo's heart. Looking at the narrator. Many viewers of the universe sighed one after another. This is indeed something that cannot be done. Being able to violate the laws of life and bring back a person's life is already the limit. But with this skill, it becomes even more reasonable for Leo to make it onto this top 10 potential list. But what other skills does Leo have? The audience continued to look towards the back of the video. After the twin monsters, the Zuluk people appeared. Zuluk people possess extremely sharp double swords that can instantly cut things in front of them in half. Leo and his first battle. They also fought very badly. The Zuluk people wield their double swords at an extremely fast speed. Leo hasn't even reacted yet. The other party's double swords have already struck him from both sides. Leo was completely pinned to the ground, rolling wildly on the ground. Don't say how embarrassed it is. And Leo has already rolled on the ground. The Zuluk people will not give him any chance to get up, lifting their feet and continuously kicking him. After a few rounds, Leo basically hasn't hurt the Zuluk people much, and he has already fallen into a serious injury state. The energy indicator on the body has started to flash. The star clusters in the fighter jet looked at it with anxiety. Previously, for Leo's training, it was just a targeted approach. Once it's not a twin monster. Leo lost his experience in an instant, like a headless fly. Finally, the Zuluk's double swords brushed over Leo's neck. Leo poured directly into the seabed. The energy indicator gradually dimmed. Boom boom boom. At the moment when the energy indicator goes out, Leo's body exploded directly, transforming into countless light particles and dissipating. Feilu was captured by the waves and brought to the shore. The Ultraman who was beaten so badly. Many viewers of the universe have also seen it for the first time. It seems that except for Leo. Basically, the other Ultras are not considered the beginning of hell. Even the most delicious Rob brothers. It is also a directly used full level number. It's just that the human body doesn't know how to play. So in the case of rookies, the most basic power possessed by Rosso and Bru's bodies. It can still help them defeat powerful enemies. Leo is really a pure whiteboard. The level has not increased, and there are not many skills in the skill tree. Even the reserve members of the Space Guard are inferior. Now Leo has fallen. The Zuluk people are still destroying the city. The only thing left to resist now is the star clusters. Don't think it's over like this, just wait for me. The star clusters spoke coldly in the fighter jet. He launched a large number of missiles for attack. The missile exploded on the Zuluk people. Although it did not cause much harm. But it did indeed attract his attention. The various star clusters lured the Zuluk people all the way to a nearby electric tower. At the moment when the Zuluk's body touched the electric wire, high voltage current immediately flowed through him, causing sustained damage to it. Zuluk people also understand that the pilot in a fighter jet is a very powerful guy. If we continue to entangle ourselves, I also don't know what means the other party will use to deal with me. So run away decisively. The battle has come to an end here. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. What are your tiers in Chapter 8? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. This also has to make many viewers of the universe marvel at the power possessed by the star clusters. Even if it is impossible to transform. Also, do not use Otto's psychic power. With just one fighter jet. The star clusters still manage to drive away the Zuluk people. Is this the gold content of the legendary Ut brothers? It's really too outrageous. And due to soaking in seawater for too long. Even if Feng Yuan was caught, he was still in a seriously injured state. My companions take good care of me. And it was just when Feng Yuan had just woken up. The star clusters have also arrived here. Looking at Feng Yuan, who has been seriously injured. Although there was concern in the eyes of the various star clusters, there was still more harshness. He placed his hand on Feng Yuan's shoulder. Feng Yuan, come with me. Baizi spoke anxiously beside her. Captain, Feng Yuan is still very weak now. Let's wait a while longer. The star clusters still spoke coldly. No, it's okay. His hands are still very cold. Baizi really doesn't want Feng Yuan to continue fighting. At least in this case, it is necessary to take good care of oneself. Feng Yuan's physical condition, no one knows better than me. And I have a way to make him warm up. Feng Yuan, come with me. The various star clusters are also Ultraman warriors, naturally knowing that with the physique of Feng Yuan, they would not be delayed by such a small injury. However, his performance seems a bit too unfriendly. The Kingdom of Light. Did Dad ever be so strict before? Cerro held her hands and sighed. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something. No wonder during training. Leo is going to die. Is it to seek revenge at that time? In a state of serious injury. The captain not only didn't care, but also had to drag on and continue with rigorous training. Anyone is a normal person. I'm sure everyone will be very unhappy in their hearts. And in the video. Feng Yuan's eyes were indeed like this, filled with confusion and grievances. The two of them just stared straight at each other. In the end, Feng Yuan made up his mind and jumped up directly from the bed. Peel off the bandage on oneself. Put on training clothes. Arrived at the foot of a waterfall with the various star clusters. The aliens will be back soon, and this time, the electric shock move won't work. But you wasted this precious time. No matter what you say, I cannot forgive you for transforming into Leo Ultraman without permission. The combat strategy of the various star groups is already very clear. That's even treating all the members of the MAC team as cannon fodder. We also need to buy more time. Give Leo sufficient training. Become a powerful Ultraman warrior. Only in that case. No matter what kind of aggressors appear in the future. Leo will defeat it. If Leo, who is still too weak now, rashly faces a powerful enemy. Besides being beaten down. What else can we do? On the contrary, it will also prematurely lose this most important combat power. Whenever a stronger enemy appears in the future than the Zuluk people. This planet was instantly abandoned. What you need to do now is to split open this waterfall. The star clusters spoke harshly. Feng Yuan couldn't believe his ears. What, split the water? If you can do it, then you will definitely be able to do it. Imagine this flowing water as that guy's arm. The words of the various star clusters have just finished. The communication device immediately started ringing. Captain, aliens have appeared in the JR area. Understood, I'll be there soon. After hanging up the various star clusters, they said to Feng Yuan, listen, no matter what happens, you must practice that move. Don't think about anything else, just leave it to me next. Looking at the resolute gaze of the star clusters, Feng Yuan nodded heavily and immediately began training. And everyone watching this video, everyone felt a sense of suffocation. That's the suffocating feeling of strong enemies pouncing one after another. Their world has never encountered such a situation before. It takes at least a long time for a monster to appear between them. And like Leo, appears every few days, not giving anyone a chance to breathe at all. Leo even suffered a serious injury and had to get up to continue training. Only then can we seize a certain opportunity to defeat the monster. This kind of scene is really too desperate. Perhaps it is only in such a desperate situation that the strongest fighting king of the future can be born. Feng Yuan training. The various star clusters went to the scene to launch an attack on the Zuluk people. And in order to procrastinate for a longer period of time, the only thing the star clusters can do, of course, it's about using ultrapower. Under the influence of Otto's imagination, the scene before the Zuluk people began to spiral around. The whole person just stays in place. Stopped the operation. And there was also a shield that wrapped the Zuluk people and sent them directly out of this planet. The shield is also condensed from the power of Ultraman. This time, not only was the Zuluk's actions given, but they were also sent out of the planet. This causes greater consumption for the star clusters. The whole person was wearing a pair of black circles under their eyes, unconscious in the cockpit of the fighter jet. And on the Feng Yuan side, his training had no effect at all. There's no way. Split the water apart. In normal human cognition, it's completely impossible to do. Feng Yuan knelt weakly in the water, looking at his hands. Damn it, I can't do it. I can't do it at all. And at this moment, the figures of the star clusters appeared. He leaned weakly against the nearby rocks. What expression is that on your face? What kind of gaze? What are your tears again? After speaking, the star clusters collapsed to the ground. Feng Yuan immediately lifted it up. Did you use Otto's psychic power again? Feng Yuan said anxiously. And facing his worries, the star clusters slapped him in the face and knocked him to the ground. Damn it. Do you still have time to manage others? Why didn't you do what I said? Everyone listened to what the star clusters were saying. His face was filled with doubts. Dig a world. This is not something we can't do anymore, it's completely impossible. The new town roast. Yeah, even if the situation is so urgent, it shouldn't force Feng Yuan so hard. Horii said beside him. The victorious team felt that the star cluster was a bit too ruthless. As a team captain, intermediary Hui, I also feel that the star clusters have gone too far. Even if she knew Dagu's identity from the beginning, encountered an enemy that Dagu could not defeat, I won't force Dagu too hard either. Because human spirit always has limits. If pushed too tightly, it is easy to directly crush a person's psychological defense line. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Cutting the waterfall with bare hands, or the flowers you played with. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But I can't do it. Feng Yuan in the video also expressed her inner thoughts and shed tears unwillingly. No one else can do it except you. Can your tears defeat that guy? Can we save this planet? Everyone is living desperately, but you don't work hard, don't you feel ashamed? Try again, try again. Facing the words of the star clusters, Feng Yuan tightly grasped his pants, suppressed the grievances in his heart, and nodded heavily. Feng Yuan immediately began training. He waved his arm and repeatedly chopped towards the waterfall. And the result is the same every time. The waterfall still pours down, completely unaffected by any obstacles. And at this moment, the communicators of the star clusters began to ring. Newcomers appear in the JR region. Listen to the sound of the communicator. The audience in the real world exclaimed that they were lying down. Gaia world. Has the Zuluk people come again? This hasn't even reached an hour, has it? My dream eyes were filled with surprise. The intensity of this battle is simply too outrageous. The star clusters finally managed to send the Zuluk people away. Feng Yuan hasn't even started training much yet. He appeared again. How can we fight this? If it's for oneself. I guess I had a psychological breakdown first. Will our world encounter such a situation in the future? In the research institute, Fujiya frowned slightly. The current frequency of monster appearances in their world. Actually, it's quite normal. It doesn't appear frequently. We will give them a certain amount of rest time. And even if Gaia falls down. And there is also his Aguru existence. Although their current positions are not unified. But to protect this planet. They will still fight together. But this is only for now. If one day in the future. Their world has also experienced the same situation as Leo's world. Monsters and their high frequency of appearance. Do not give them any chance to breathe. What kind of way should they treat them then? They don't have masters like the star cluster. Can provide accurate training plans. The only thing we can do is rely on ourselves. And what can be done now? Just before this day arrives. Strengthen your own strength as quickly as possible. As long as one's own strength is strong enough. So no matter what enemy they face, they have enough strength to deal with it. Before leaving, the various star clusters spoke to Feng Yuan. If you can't see the flow point, it's a constant flow of water. Remember, find the target for the flow point. Hurry up and master it. Before that, I will be the one to stop the cosmic beings. After the star cluster finished speaking, I left immediately. Feng Yuan quickly began to train, and he understood that the hope of the whole team and the whole planet lay in him. And this time the star clusters are dealing with the Zuluk people. Without the ability to use ultrapower. It's much more difficult than before. And the strategy previously used was also ineffective for the Zuluk people. So now the star clusters are really using their all. Delaying time. Drag to Feng Yuan training completion. The moment to eliminate the Zuluk people. And Feng Yuan also lived up to expectations. In the flowing water, I saw several cherry blossom petals. With the help of these petals, the target of the flow point was confirmed. Concentrate your strength on one point and then reach the pinnacle. He used a hand knife and a flying kick respectively. Cut open the water flow. Things that should not have been done. Feng Yuan really did it. This also surprised the audience. I really split the water. Since we split the water apart. So the next step is to seek revenge against the Zuluk people. Feng Yuan immediately transformed into Leo and rushed to the place where the Zuluk people appeared. Seeing Leo appear. A pleased smile appeared on the faces of the various star clusters. It seems that this time, Leo has truly mastered new skills. You can defeat the Zuluk people. And this battle. It also greatly exceeded the expectations of all the audience. Because of the current Leo. It's like completely predicting the attack of the Zuluk people. No matter what attack the other party uses. Leo can easily block and give significant blows. Instantly stun the Zuluk people. The Kingdom of Light. Growing up so big. Cerro's eyes were filled with surprise. Just completing this training. It gave Leo a completely new transformation. If there is no enormous potential hidden within the body, is it completely impossible to achieve this effect? The current Leo. It's just a harmless hanging of the Zuluk people. In the newly established Galactic Empire, Belia watched everything happening on the screen. I also felt a hint of surprise in my eyes. The growth rate of Leo is really too large. From the beginning, a rookie warrior. In an instant, it turned into a physical presence on the opposite side. The time for transformation is not even a day. The potential within the body is too terrifying. When it comes to it, you really need to be careful of Leo. When I was in the monster graveyard, Belia naturally also fought against Leo. Just in the posture of Beluadora. I didn't feel that Leo had too much power on him. And through this video, it's completely a different feeling. Moreover, so many years have passed in their world. During these years, I believe Leo will become even stronger than before. In the video, Leo uses his hands as his shield and his legs as his sword. An overwhelming attack was launched against the Zuluk people. Finally, he concentrated his strength in his hands. Chopped off the Zuluk's arms and defeated them with the knife on his arms. This battle has been completely resolved. Will there be even stronger enemies in the future? The audience also doesn't know. You can only continue to look back. The only thing they can grasp now is with Leo's physique. After undergoing devilish training, strength will experience explosive growth. Training like splitting a waterfall with your hands is probably the most outrageous. There shouldn't be any more outrageous training than this. However, the next screen to be played in the video, they will tell them that their thoughts are too simplistic. In the training provided by the various star clusters to Feng Yuan, chop open the waterfall with your hands. It's already the easiest training. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. He's coming, he's driving a jeep. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Transform the scene in the video. This time fighting Leo. It's a dark cosmologist, a Kalian. The Kali people possess extremely strong brute force, just like a rampaging buffalo. Concentrate your strength on your head and then hit Leo hard. Faced with this formidable force, Leo can be said to have no resistance and was instantly knocked to the ground. And the previous cultivation. It's completely ineffective for this monster. Punching the Kali people is completely painless for them. Even because the distance is too close. Let the Kali people once again leave it to crash to the ground. Now the audience can see it completely. These very outrageous trainings. It's like a crash course. Based on the experience of the star clusters themselves. Combining the combat power demonstrated by monsters. A targeted strategy developed. Then use this strategy to train Leo. Each training session can only target one monster. Just leave that monster. The previous training can be considered ineffective. At most, it enhances Leo's physical fitness. So under the continuous attacks of the Kali people, Leo's body was directly shattered into countless light particles and dissipated. See Leo disappear. The Kali people have temporarily left. The injured Feng Yuan stood by the seaside and let out a deep sigh. I thought I had gone through the previous training. Afterwards, dealing with monsters will be easier. I didn't expect to still be crushed. The star clusters came to his side. What expression are you on? What's so painful about you? Feng Yuan turned his head and did not speak. It's me who should suffer. As an alien, I also want to curse Leo. Not only did he transform unpreparedly, but he was also defeated by cosmic beings. But Faced with the preaching of the various star clusters, Feng Yuan had just uttered 2 words and was interrupted in an attempt to justify himself. The various star clusters understand very well what Feng Yuan wants to say. What it means is that the Kali star people who appeared this time are really too powerful to defeat themselves. But is it useful to say this? Not at all. I don't want to hear you argue. After speaking, the star clusters left. Feng Yuan also knew that being so depressed was not a solution. Started training again. He sharpened 2 extremely thick tree trunks and dropped them onto a nearby tree, shaking them to avoid their attacks. Everyone saw this scene. I didn't know what to say for a moment. It's very obvious. This training was conceived by Feng Yuan himself. It's not an idea given by the star clusters. Now Feng Yuan is so cruel to herself. It seems that it was still influenced by the previous training of the various star clusters. Just such a big trunk, if someone accidentally pricks someone's body. I guess it's just chilling to the heart. Such a dangerous thing. Feng Yuan used it to train himself. It has to be said that it's really a fight. Under this kind of training, Feng Yuan practiced until his body was covered in injuries. Fighting skills have also shown some growth. In theory, the star clusters should acknowledge his training. However, in fact, it is not. The various star clusters arrived at the training location of Feng Yuan. He launched a fierce attack on him with his cane in his hand. Under the attack of the star clusters, Feng Yuan can be said to have no fighting power and was directly beaten to the ground. You said it's impossible to defeat the Kali people at this level. The star clusters let out a cold snort. I could easily defeat Feng Yun with just a single blow. Not to mention the kind of Kali people who fight to the death. Feng Yuan's training can only be used to lay a foundation. If you want to defeat the Kali people, it is completely impossible in the short term. Where do you consider this as training? The stars fanned Feng Yuan with a slap. Will this would stab you with hatred? At this moment, this line of text rings on the screen. Perhaps many people are puzzled by the actions of the various star clusters. Although Feng Yuan has already made such efforts, he is still denying his efforts. There is really no way. At this moment, the various star clusters are unable to transform and use Leo as their only combat power. If Leo has the same strength as the Ott brothers, he doesn't need to be so anxious. But the problem is none, the current Leo is still too weak. Without using extreme methods, it cannot be trained and the planet cannot be protected. This also leads to the star clusters appearing too extreme actually, the content mentioned in these few lines of text. Viewers of the multiverse still understand. I just feel that this is really unnecessary. If the various star clusters, due to too strict training, even train Feng Yuan to death, that would be completely more than worth the loss. But they can also see it. There is still a hint of resentment in the words of the various star clusters. It's just anger towards oneself. If I could still transform into Severn Ultraman, he doesn't need to be so Leo anymore. The relationship between the two of them is so strained that even the star clusters don't want it. But if we can protect this Earth, let Leo's strength grow. Even if Feng Yuan hates himself to death, the star clusters also feel it's worth it. And the next training, it is to leave the audience amazed. In a desert, a dirt gray jeep gallops. The person driving the jeep is the star cluster. And running in front of the jeep was Feng Yuan wearing a black training suit. Driving and chasing people. What training method is this? The Kingdom of Light. Cerro was completely stunned. Seeing this scene, Cerro increasingly felt that Leo was training himself so hard. It's avenging Severn at the time. Chasing the human body of Leo with a jeep. Where is training? It's completely killing me. It's like during his training, Leo did not train with his fists and feet, but holding a tyrant. Command Cerro to crash over. There is no difference at all. They are all directly taking people's lives. How did my father come up with this training method? Even the other Otto brothers. At this moment, I couldn't help but turn my head to look at Sean. I thought Leo's training was already very torturous. I didn't expect to be compared to Sean. Leo's training for Cerro. He's just a little brother. Not even fur can be considered. Otto's father also turned his gaze to Severin, originally intending to say something. But in the end, I let out a sigh. During Siwen's time, you really worked hard. Seeing my own children already extreme like this. Father Otto's heart is also very distressed. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.